everybody, welcome back once again to the America's Army OP Cast. I'm Dev Tots, joined as always with Dev Grubber. How's it going, man?
What's up, Tots?
Not a lot. And today we've got a special guest for you guys, DevBravonator. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not a lot. So, what do you do in the studio?
I am an animator.
An animator.
So, what do you do in the studio?
Yeah, I was didn't really answer the question.
Oh, well, I'm an animator. I work on animations for, obviously, the game. The latest thing that I've worked on was the sniper rifle. Whenever you guys see that baby reload or load or do any of that stuff, M24 is my baby pretty much. Just the first person. So, the third person was actually made by somebody else, but it was pretty much the same timing as the first person animations that I made.
Yeah, you were the person I was yelling at every time, like when that sniper rifle was like smacking me in the head, stuff like that.
Animation, a lot harder than I thought it would be, evidently, because like I know you guys spend a lot of time on something that I would think is like, oh yeah, man, just do a little quick reload, but it's not at all.
The rigging part is the scariest part to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
like anything.
I know before any kind of animation that I do in particular, I like to do a lot of reference. Fortunately for me, we have somebody on staff that has actually a bolt action rifle, so I was able to.
Well, it's Alabama. That's probably.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean, fortunately in the studio, somebody that I could actually, talk to about the specific project that we're working on. So I was able to, go to his house and like see exactly how you handle it. He's had experience with firearms before, so he showed me how you use it. I recorded him, and I was able to kind of put my own little flavor on it once I was able to put it in
And I hear that he actually shot an apple off your head. Is that true?
No, that is not true.
Oh, man.
That would have been crazy. I would have loved to have filmed that reference.
Yeah, I think we need that in the game. So, I mean, one of the reasons we want to have you on here, you often this is something that we've talked about in the past podcast thoughts, but we have a lot of different perspectives in the studio. I mean, there's often, we joke about arguments in the halls and fights and stuff like that, but I mean, we really do
serious.
have some serious like arguments in our daily meetings and stuff like that. And so, you are somebody that stands out to me as somebody who disagrees in different areas and agrees with other things that I often disagree with. Like there are.
Well, you're a clan player, right?
Yeah, you have an
play
interesting
team-based
perspective.
more,
I do.
You stream a lot, which I know a lot of y'all probably have seen the late night streams with Bravo.
Yes,
not recently this week, but yes, if you see a stream going on in the AA account, it's probably me.
Usually after midnight.
Usually after midnight or at midnight or 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
That Twitch link will be in the YouTube comments.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yes, I am a part of a clan right now. Sometimes I do tend to bounce around, and I try to involve myself in the community, not just because I think it's important to know people's feedbacks or see how the game plays, but just because it's amazing to play with people that have the same passion in a shooter.
Like, 'cause we all like in the studio, we all play the game, but like we're not all like playing it like that's not our like only game, and maybe it's not your only game, but I mean like you put a lot of extra hours into it, more so than like just playing with us and stuff like that. And
I do.
I think it offers you a different perspective than we don't always get.
Right. I mean, I come from a background. It's more general, kind of like everybody else. Where people played like Battlefield and Call of Duty and all that stuff, and I feel like I come from that because those are the games that I've played before in the past the most. And to be honest, I didn't really play a lot of America's Army 3. I just kind of got into Proving Grounds, and I really liked it because it was really similar to those games. But I mean, the biggest thing that makes it stand out is one, the community. The community is awesome, and not a lot of people are trolls. A lot of people are willing to help. help you
Forums
figure out.
excluded.
Yeah, maybe not the forums. I don't really hang out a lot there. But yeah, I mean, just people in general are very friendly. You know, they help you if you're new to the game. You know, somebody will help you out. They'll tell you the difference between like a smoke or a fog, or you know, they'll just answer simple questions like that, and that, you know, I really like that. But also the communication. That's something that I never got from any of the mainstream games out there, is, you know, the fact that you work as a team and you get to talk to your teammates. And
the VoIP is more than people cussing you out in our game.
exactly, yeah, it's not always a 10-year-old cursing you out because you suck. You know, it's a lot of it is very teamwork driven, and it's just like, you know, so and so's over there, so and so's over here. You know, I love that, and that's one of the reasons why I play this game so much now. You know, I don't even remember the last time I touched Battlefield 4, to be honest.
I haven't touched it in a while either, so
I totally skipped it.
yeah. Well, that's interesting. So let's go back a little bit to, you know, like the disagreements that we have in it, because I think it'd be interesting for people to hear like some of the things that we do regularly disagree about. Can you think of anything that a direction that the game has gone that you're not quite sure with? I think there was something with role select that I remember you were not happy with all the changes with role select.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, I come from a background of, like, you know, playing some of the mainstream games out there, and so I'm more inclined to try to practice with different kinds of weapons. And, you know, limited role select, where it has its advantages, I see its disadvantages in trying to get better in, like, with other weapons and stuff like that. And early on, I was really not in favor of it because, you know, like, for example, like the sniper rifle, not just because I wanted to see my own animations, but but because, you know, I wanted to get good at it, or I felt the need of there's this guy keeps sniping me, you know, I really want to get him back, but there's somebody else that's occupying the spot, you know, stuff like that. Like, I really felt frustrated.
By the way, that person was me.
Oh yeah,
to let you know.
That was you, Grub, most of the time, and I wanted to get back at you so bad. That's true. Every freaking playtest, it's always Grub shooting you in the face. Especially before we fixed all those sightlines in their levels.
I took advantage of every broken sightline.
If there's a broken sniper sightline, you and Zuko.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but yes, you know, I found workarounds for it, like using fogs and smokes and all that. But I mean, of course, it has its limitations. But yeah, that's the main reason why I didn't like role select. I'm starting to kind of get used to it, and it's funny because like the community actually worked around it, and because the community, in my opinion, is nice enough, you know, if you ask, you might actually get lucky, and somebody might say, yeah, sure, you can have the sniper rifle, you know.
Yeah.
Now that being said,
I've heard it
still
once.
working on a better way of handling who has what role and
We
trading
still are,
roles.
yes.
Like, that's not done.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
you know, we don't want to just rely on community kindness alone. But you're right. You know, our community. I play sometimes where when you log in as a dev tag, you get treated a certain way. Usually that's yelled at.
Oh yeah.
But, sometimes I'll go and I'll change my name and I'll go in Incognito, where you can't tell I'm a dev in any way. You know, there's no markers. And
unless you know who the tots is.
Well, I changed that part too. I'll go completely Incognito. You know, and play with people, and I like that a lot more because you get a much more honest experience, and I'm treated nicer like that than when I'm in dev tag mode, which I don't know what that says.
I get a varied experience. I mean, because when I get on, I want to talk to people. So I usually don't even play. I'll usually spectate, and sometimes I annoy the server I'm on, but sometimes, like, you know, I can get people talking to me, and just, like, we'll have a conversation while everyone's playing, and, you know, sometimes, you know, like, I'll find some people that just want to complain about this or complain about that and be, you know, just really, you know, oddballs. But sometimes I will find, you know, I think when I engage them, I'll find people that, you know, they just want to, you know, hear from a dev's perspective and stuff like that. And I'll plug the podcast and stuff like that too. And hey,
Wait,
hit the
you guys have a
forums, hit the
podcast?
podcast. Yeah. No, yeah, because a lot of people don't know, and it's something we're trying to correct too. I mean, we want to try to get it onto the launcher and so that it's there. But
Reach out a lot more with it.
Yeah. And I like to do the same. Sometimes I do like to be incognito. Obviously, some of the people that I play with the most are like, hey, what happened to your div tag? Are you not working there anymore? But, yeah, sometimes I do like to go incognito because you're right. It's a different experience.
Remember that one day you were talking about some guy was just going off on you for being ICU, and he's like, you can't do anything, you're horrible, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So some guy trying to start some trash talking about, about the clan itself, and
Wasn't he trying to recruit you at the same time as
he was like, yeah, why don't you do? I let my actions speak. I'm not, I'm not a beginner at the game, by no means.
no,
So
you're always rolling our faces.
You're on our dev comp team that theoretically exists.
theoretically, one day we'll have a competition. Yeah, so I like my actions to speak, and then that way I can't go wrong. If I get sniped all the time, then I can't say that I was good. But if I mow down people, then there you go.
My hope is to snipe you, so you don't mow me down later in the game. That's my hope.
It's more Nikolai's thing to just go prone and shoot every round a saw comes with.
Oh man, yeah, he does that. Yeah, the saw is really good.
I'm out of
So
ammo.
many playtests
It's
were
like
is
30
the saw
seconds
sound
in.
stuck? And they're like, no, it's Nikolai. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a bug. What's going on? It's like 30 seconds straight. Like, where do you get all that ammo, dude?
We should really check that out.
Yeah, I think we should. There might be some hackery going on there.
I can believe it.
Yeah, but like I said, going incognito sometimes, I do feel like sometimes I gotta police it a little bit. I do go on the servers every once in a while. I try to catch anybody that's like hacking or whatever. Just because hacking in general is awful. I mean, it just ruins the gameplay for everybody else. So sometimes I do like to just kind of go in unnoticed and luckily, I think I've only had to, kick somebody out of the server once or twice, and this is after visually verifying that they actually have been hacking.
Yeah.
Luckily, the admin team does a pretty good job of staying on top of that.
Yeah.
It's a pretty thankless job. Glad I don't have to do it.
Oh man.
So to talk a little bit about some of the recent things that we've been kind of working on, and just because I remember hearing you kind of voice out about that, like some of the medic stuff, and again, this medic stuff is still in trial. We're just kind of playing around with some things and stuff, but you've been very passionate about the because we had the medic role as a restricted role of like 1 or 2 people, and we still have that for now. But I mean, you voiced that that has not been something that you see that should stay. And so let's talk a little bit about that, because we've heard we've talked about the one side of that. Let's talk about the another side, another voice.
On that cliffhanger, let's talk about that next time on
All
the
right.
America's Army OP cast. Say goodbye, everybody.
Oh, it's hot.
Woo! Peace out, guys.
Bye.